time for all of us as a people to heal. We can no longer keep accepting all the pain and stuff that's been thrown at us. At some point, we got to call a truce to this. In other words, like a ceasefire.
Daphne Alston is co-founder of Mothers of Murdered Sons and Daughters United. She knows the pain of losing a loved one to violence. Her son was killed in July of 2008 while at a Harford County party. The pain of losing Tariq, who was 22 at the time, lives in her. She had this message for young people.
But we're asking you today to meet us halfway. Please put those guns down.
Is she serious? Please put those guns down. We brought these cameras in this podium and all these people from the press because we thought we didn't think you was going to say, please put these guns down. We did all of this, the signs and the banners and the press passes for you to get up and say, please put the guns away. It's no hope.
But we're asking you today to meet us halfway. Please put those guns down and those drugs and stuff. Meet us halfway.
Latanya Bryant lost her 24-year-old son in 2014. She had a message for drug dealers.
Think about what you're doing. You're hurting your mother, you're hurting your father. You're hurting everyone. Even the young kids that just doesn't even understand what crime is.
These women raised savages like this. They raised thugs. And they still don't know that. They don't care about your family, the way your family feels about it. They kill a little kid. In Baltimore, at least every week, there's 2 or 3 kids that get shot. I mean, kids. Gaga goo goo. Pitter patter. Stray bullets. Caught in the drive-by. Shootout broad daylight. They don't care about anything. Haven't you noticed that as soon as you sisters demanded that the laws be changed, that no cash bail, so when they commit a violent crime, they get out the next day, lighter sentences, so when they do a miracle, they get sentenced, they get prosecuted, they'll be out much, much sooner. Restraints on cops, so cops can't, do their job and actually catch them as much as they used to. Haven't you noticed this since that? They haven't said, thank you, sisters. We're gonna show the country and the glide man. We're gonna show the glacier glide man that, they had us pegged all wrong. Thank you so much, sisters, for giving us this opportunity to, breathe without the man's boot on our neck. Whew, now we can fly. Now we can start, enrolling in colleges and, because, every sector, the tech sector, the medical sector, the legal, every sector, except for NFL coaches. Literally, every sector except for NFL coaches is searching. They're looking under every rock. They're beating the pavement looking for viable, eligible, halfway decent son people that are interested in that field. You don't even have to score the same score on whatever entry test. You don't have to have the same qualifications. Yours could be half as good as a Crouching Tiger or a Glacier Glider candidate, and you're going to get the job. For diversity's sake, they have diversity quotas. Every sector has these diversity quotas. If you want to get in any sector, coding, graphic design, info systems, technology, science, engineering. All you gotta do is show up. You're like, I'm a son, man. I'm interested in this. They're gonna tackle you, sign you up, get you trained, and put you on their books because they have diversity quotas. They have to have a certain amount of son people. So you don't even. So if you and it's hard to find for a lot because some people don't major in the fields that lead to this. Most some people, American born, especially some people major in things like, mass communications or liberal arts or African American studies, things like that. Sports management, things that you can't really get into a lot of these STEM fields with those degrees. So if you're a son, man, even if you got a degree in that, or even if you don't have a degree, even if you just want to go online and get a certificate, take a course, you can go to these big companies, Google, Amazon, these big, huge companies, Texas Instruments, big conglomerates, GE, and they will give you a job because they have a quota. You think some men used all this break that away from Law and Order that sisters done gave them? Sisters basically got us the biggest break from law enforcement and legal accountability that we ever had in the history of this country. And in these 2 years, have we said, look, sisters, look what we did. You was right, man. We out here shining. No, the murder rate in every major city's gone up through the roof, skyrocketed. Carjackings are up 1,000%. Violent crime is up everywhere. Femicide is through the roof. Sisters are getting knocked off, bumped off. Sisters getting bumped off every 4 hours.
Think about what you're doing. You're hurting your mother, hurting your father. You're hurting everyone. Even the young kids that just doesn't even understand what crime is, but they can repeat it.
So far in the city, there have been 49 homicides, 10 more than this time last year, and 92 non-fatal shootings compared to 71 this time last year.
I just would like to say to our young black men, please stop. It's not worth it.
Mark Cannon from We, Our, Us encouraged people to take advantage of resources in the community to keep kids focused.
Please bring your young people over to 1400 East Federal Street, starting at 4 o'clock Monday through Thursday. Tuesdays is life coaching, as you can see, 5:30 to 7:30. Job training, job opportunity, trauma coaching, fatherhood sessions, recreation also.
The group wants people to know that they can always call or text the Stop the Beef hotline if they need help. No police involvement. Lisa Robinson, WBAL, TV 11 News.
I think it was an isolated incident. I don't think it'll happen much more. Hopefully it doesn't.
Saturday night's incident did not keep shoppers and diners away from the area today.
Towson, it is very rare. It's usually very safe. That's why it's such a big deal.
Translate that for us. Towson is very safe. Type of thing doesn't usually happen around here. Can I get my Oc Nation translators to decode that statement for me?
Towson, it is very rare. It's usually very safe. That's why it's such a big deal.
According to Baltimore County Police, the incident that started inside the mall spilled outside. It spanned several blocks of the central business district and included reports of property damage, including the smashed glass entryway at the Avalon apartment building, 2 pepper-sprayed officers, and the arrest of 6 juveniles.
We take this very, very serious.
Towson Chamber of Commerce President Nancy Hafford.
We can't stop these things from ever happening, but we can make it that people don't want to do anything here because they know they'll be punished for it.
That sounds good, Nancy. There's no way you can punish these kids. Sisters and people like you, pasty liberals like you, have already ruined. They can't be punished. They're home. They're not even going to get an ankle monitor for this. This won't even see a court. This will be tossed out in a city. Oh, this is Towson, but I was about to say Baltimore. But Towson, Maryland, the state of Maryland is just, it's in the state of, there's no way these kids will see any, they didn't kill anybody. You have to understand, these kids have to kill somebody for consequences to even begin. If they don't kill somebody, there's almost like a 3% chance that they'll face consequences. And if you don't believe me, go look at my old videos. Just look at my past videos. Make sure you hit the like button too. We need more likes on this channel. Like. But just go look at any of my old, if you're new, because the people who've been here already know this. But if you new, go look at any of my old videos. Just scroll down and just look. Pick anyone. Juveniles, son team, it's carte blanche.
But we can make it that people don't want to do anything here because they know they'll be punished for it.
According to county police, before the initial assault and 911 call, security was already in the process of enforcing the mall's parental guidance policy and had notified the department that there were large groups of juveniles being escorted off the property after causing multiple disturbances within the mall.
You know, it's a shame that youth can't come together and have a good time and it not end in violence.
Outside the old courthouse today, we talked with County Council Chairman Julian Jones and Councilman David Marks, who represents this district.
I was involved in getting the youth escort policy put in place at Towson Town Center 6 years ago, and events like this are really an aberration.
So 6 years ago, because of so many mall fights and so much disturbance from one group of teens, not all teens, one group of teens, because that one group of teens was constantly attacking people unprovoked, shooting, robbing, killing each other. This guy he got a law passed that you have to have a parent with you. So if you're a Crouching Tiger teen and a Glider teen and Hombrito teen and you're like, hey man, let's go up to the mall. Y'all wouldn't go up there because you know who's up there. But let's just say, perfect world, the mall wasn't, teeming with Sun teens and it was safe. You couldn't, that group of teens, the Glider teen, the Crouching Tiger teen, and the Hombrito teen, they couldn't go up to the mall without their parents. Because all teens are affected by this. When they put something in place for Sun teens, all teens have to abide by it. Even though it's only one group of teens that's doing the things that make these laws necessary.
I was involved in getting the youth escort policy put in place at Towson Town Center 6 years ago, and events like this are really an aberration.
They're now talking about what more can they do from a policy perspective, and they told us today discussions include the role that social media may have played in assembling some sort of flash mob type incident here, as well as how do you keep these juveniles who are being escorted out of the mall from just walking right back in through a different door. Reporting live from Towson tonight, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL, TV 11 News.
Kenwood students and parents have been urged to remain on alert.
Extremely concerned. Every single day that I drop my kids off, it's the same thing, and I know they get sick of hearing it, but I'm like, the best thing you can do is please be vigilant.
The Kenwood incident follows a shooting last week at Cadensville High School, and so far this school year, guns have been recovered from both Woodlawn and Chesapeake High Schools. Last month, a school resource officer was injured breaking up multiple fights at Perry Hall High School. There was a call then by a county councilman for extra resource officers.
I would love to see staffing for an additional school resource officer, and I would like to see Certainly, Baltimore County Public Schools engaging the parents a little bit more.
I like this Councilman David Marks, man. He gets stuff done, man. This is the same one who got the parental escort ordinance passed at the mall, to where the kids gotta have. You can't be in the mall without your parent. And I agree. You need more school resource officers, man. Look at the community these kids come from. Many of these kids are killers and shooters. You need this in the school. This is very necessary, man.
Certainly, Baltimore County Public Schools engaging the parents a little bit more.
But the head of the Baltimore County PTA Council says hiring more SROs is only part of the solution. In a statement, she said, "I know we have to do something to keep guns out of schools. SROs may help, but they are not the full answer. Passing the laws needed for better gun safety, that does not mean denying people's Second Amendment rights, and having parents taking better control over their children by educating them on the subject and being alert is needed as well." There are currently 83 SROs on the payroll in Baltimore County schools. There's no word on whether the police department will increase their numbers. The head of the National Association of School Resource Officers says school districts should look beyond just adding numbers.
The important need to make sure that we've got protectors in that school environment, not just cops with a badge and a gun, but truly professional men and women who are carefully selected and specifically trained.
Trained and in place to help keep schools safe. Over the next month or so, the county executive will continue his town hall meetings. Some in the administration says he'll expect feedback from residents over the recent uptick in school violence. At Kenwood High School in Essex, Tim Tootin, WBAL, TV 11 News.
Gathering on Fifth Avenue and Cambria Street in Baltimore's Brooklyn community, neighbors get a chance to speak out against violence. This is where a recent triple shooting took place. The victims survived. But Monday, a double shooting on South Hanover Street took the life of 16-year-old Montrell Batiste.
A lot of our young people, 30 and under, are succumbing to gun violence.
Friends set up candles and a small memorial here.
It's sad. It's sad, man.
A man who tells us he knew the teen says he laments the loss of Trell and others to gun violence.
Youth killing each other. They supposed to be our future. We ain't gonna have no future. They killing each other.
Baltimore police say so far this year, the city has had 4 homicides involving juvenile victims and 9 non-fatal shootings. On Wednesday, a triple shooting on Gelston Drive sent a 15-year-old boy to the hospital. Police say the other victims, ages 19 and 20, died.
And that number doesn't seem high. Four juveniles killed and 9 shot. So a total of 13 juveniles shot this year. And that doesn't seem very high when you just look at it as a number. But just think about it. These are the kids in the schools. 13 of them have been shot. They're towns. They're counties in Appalachia where the poverty levels are way higher than this. Where the drugs, meth, and fentanyl, everything's out there. The whole of Appalachia. I'm talking about all of it. From western New York down through West Virginia into Kentucky and Tennessee. The whole of Appalachia. I guarantee you don't have this in the last 5 years. And this is just one Sun City. Through February.
Non-fatal shootings. On Wednesday, a triple shooting on Gelston Drive sent a 15-year-old boy to the hospital. Police say the other victims, ages 19 and 20, died.
Well, that's the disease of violence. This ain't start just last month. This thing started last year. We done had hundreds of murders for a few years now. You know, my little brother was one of them. My cousins was one of them. I have friends that's one of them.
Gliders, quick. And I'm only talking to gliders. Only glacier gliders. How many of you know one person? Hit one if you know one person who's been murdered in the street. I'm not talking about, some guy killed his wife. Or murdered in the street. Murdered by a non-spouse. How many of y'all know anybody? Because we talk to gliders a lot on the live streams, Tuesdays and Fridays, 9:30 p.m. And most gliders don't know anybody who's been killed like this. The average son, man, if he went to junior high school, elementary, junior high school in a sun city like Baltimore, by the time he's this guy's age, 40, he knows 40, 50 people who've been murdered. On some street, like gangland style or straight bullet or whatever, something in the street. That body dropped on the sidewalk.
This ain't start just last month. This thing started last year. We done had hundreds of murders for a few years now. You know, my little brother was one of them. My cousins was one of them. I have friends that's one of them.
Safe Streets says it is remembering victims and bringing communities together with these shooting responses.
Our hearts go out to the family. Our hearts go out to the friends and the neighborhood as a whole because it affects everybody in the community. It don't just affect the people who are actually out here doing the crime. It affects the whole neighborhood as a whole. We feel that pain.
And as you guys know, this is the group Safe Streets that I've done 3 stories on in the last calendar year. 1 year. They have had 3 of their members. These are violence interrupters and things like that. 3 of these guys have been murdered in Baltimore in the last year. Think about that. This group has had 3 guys murdered in the line of duty. Okay? These are some brave brothers. I know the brother got, street accent and whatnot. He's not the, most, well-spoken guy. But D, you looking at some brave dude. How many of y'all remember these stories I did over the last year? They've lost 3 in 1 year. Just from this one group of guys that walk around the streets. Brutal. Homicides, my G. Yeah, homicides. Whacked out.
We feel that pain.
Now, the group marched from 5th Avenue to Hanover Street. That is where the 16-year-old was killed. And then the group held a rally, and that was outside Life Church Ministries here in Brooklyn.